Hi Greedy 3Ders. I'm excited today because the Saturn S has landed in the Greedy 3D man cave. Now what I'm going to do for you today, I'm going to give you an honest review. What do I mean by that? Well, I haven't been sent this by Elegoo. I've had to buy this with my own hard-earned wonga. It cost me £380 from Amazon. I'm going to set it up, unbox it, let's play with it, let's give you an honest review, and let's see what we think of the Elegoo Saturn S. So the first thing you're going to ask me is, Greedy, what's the difference between the Saturn and the S? Well, there you go. Slightly larger LCD screen, a slightly better resolution, a slightly lower size in the pixels. Your printing volume is moderately larger and very, very small difference there. And there is an air purifier and it uses the FEP2 as opposed to the FEP. So no groundbreaking differences, but there are some differences between the two printers. So the first thing I'm going to do is see what Elegoo say about their wonderful machine, and once we've done that, I'll show you my unboxing and my review of it. Now, as is the norm for Elegoo, the packaging is amazing. This has come from China and there's not a mark on it. So I'm going to unpack it all, get all this lovely, lovely polystyrene stuff out of it and packaging. There's just shed loads and it's really well packaged. First thing I'm going to pull out is the power lead. This is the obligatory bag of goodies, and the power lead is a UK plug, which is just what we need. You can't have enough of these cutters. These cutters are priceless. Some PPE in there with some gloves, 2 lots of scrapers. One you do use on the surface of the FEP, one you do not. The little bag of Allen keys, which are imperative. You've got a couple of bits of more PPE in the shape of face masks. There's the carbon filter, which the Saturn does not come with, so this is new for the Saturn S. USB stick with the software on and some test prints and the instructions and the leveling card. Standard stuff really, apart from the filter which came with it, and there obviously is the little filters to get your resin out. And yet further packaging to get at the magic wonderful build plate that's hidden all in there. And there it is, a lovely sandblasted surface. It's got a protective screen on it. We'll come back to that in a little while. And resting in the bottom of the box is the beauty itself, the Saturn S. Good weight to that, feels well made. And I've moved it into situ and I'm going to start unwrapping it. Oh, I'm doing this slowly. It's lovely. Let's get the wrapping off the main screen. Once that's off, let's turn to the LCD and whip that off, and then over to the FEP, and we're going to just reveal the FEP underneath there. This is the new FEP2 apparently on this machine, and there she is. You can see the dual rails there. The actual rod has been well greased. It feels well made. It looks well made. It looks square. Wonderful. Love the Elegoo Saturns. You'll notice on the back of this there is a USB stick. That is for the carbon filter. Do not put your phone in it or any gadgets, just the carbon filter. On the left hand side of there is nothing on the back. There is literally nothing except the power lead and the power supply. No network points there. On to the side you will see one single USB connector and that is pretty much the Saturn. Now let's get the build plate off. This is a lovely sandblasted build plate. It's slightly larger than the Saturns. I will compare the two at some stage during the video, but it feels really lovely. And the first thing we're going to do is level it, and we know what to do here. So undo the two bolts using the Allen key that came with it so that the main plate is nice, loose and wobbly. Now make sure you use the levelling paper. This is thicker than normal paper, and it's imperative you use this as it's the correct thickness. Now I'm just going to lift the Z-axis up a little bit so I can get the build plate on, and once the build plate is on and tightened, I'm going to just press the home button, which will lower the build plate down to the surface. Now it is wobbly, and I'm going to make sure that paper is covering as much of the screen as I can. I always have this morbid fear of it going straight through the screen at this stage, but with all the printers I've had, it's never really happened. So it'll go up, it'll go down, just let go of it while it does it. Try to make sure it's as square as you can, and then hold it flat and tighten those nuts, those hexagon nuts, up as much as you can using the Allen keys. It's really important you get it as tight as you can so it doesn't move. Now the good thing about levelling these printers correctly is if you do it right, you shouldn't need to do it again. It's only if you get problems you're going to need to start re-levelling, or if you put something like a flex plate on. But that is now levelled, and I'm just going to set the Z offset to 0. There we go, and now that is ready to go. Let's get the vat on. Now it's a lovely metallic-y vat. There are two threaded screws that hold it in place, one on the left and one on the right, so I'm going to tighten those up, and make sure when you put those in you tighten them really well, and make sure you don't forget to put them in, or you will have a bit of a disaster when you try to print. On with the filter now. Now you need to unwrap the filter, not only on the outside and get all this plasticky stuff off it, but when you open it up, on the inside you will see the charcoal, and that is also wrapped up. Make sure you unwrap it. If you don't unwrap it, it won't work. So get all that cellophane off the charcoal. I got a little bit dirty doing this. The charcoal is exactly what you would expect it to be. It's a bit black, it's a bit nasty, it's a bit dirty, so just be mindful of that. Don't wear your best white shirt while you're doing it. Pop it back in, pop the lid on, and then you know that one single USB connector that sits on the bottom left of the printer will take it, push it in, and that filtration system works straight away automatically. Right, in with the USB stick. I'm not going to do anything else apart from test the rook, do the test print, the rook that's in there, and I'm going to use some Anycubic basic grey to do that. I'm going to fill it up. It's about 500 mils to fill the tank up, so fill it up with some of that Anycubic resin, stick the lid upon the machine, and that's pretty much ready now for the test print. I'm pressing the print. Go ahead now, my Saturn S, and print me a couple of rooks. So the print has now finished. Let's have a little look and see what the Saturn S has produced. Okay, wow. As usual, this is the second Saturn that I've owned and the third Elegoo machine. And each time the standard of these rooks just keeps getting better and better. That's really lovely. It's come out beautifully. It looks marvellous. Let's get it off the build plate. Let's get it cleaned up and let's see what it looks like. Okay, I'm just going to use the metal scraper that came with the printer, and I am going to give them a gentle tap to get them off. Beautiful. And number two. Wow, came off an absolute dream. Looking marvellously. We're going to get them cleaned up now, but I think initial impression, just having a close look at them, they look absolutely wonderful. Printing quality, fantastic, as I have come to expect from Elegoo. Wonderful. Happy with that. I'm going to get them cleaned up, and we'll have a quick look at them afterwards. Wow, so just look at the quality of that. I think it's safe to say that that is absolutely perfect. There is not a fault on that. I am absolutely chuffed completely how that has come out. I can't see any blemishes. All the writing I can read. I can see the staircase inside. Amazing. Okay, so there we go. So far, so good. We've unboxed it, we've set it up, we've run our first test print, and everything's okay. Fantastic. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to hold on this review, and I'm going to come back to it in a month. One successful print does not the printer make, and we need to run print after print after print, see if there's any problems, any issues, or what we can do to overcome that. what I'd like to hear from you guys, and pop it in the little box that YouTube allows you to leave a little message to me and to everyone else that joins the channel, is what have you learnt about your Saturn S? What settings do you use? What problems have you overcome? What issues have you had, and how did you get around those issues? Now, I have never ever said that I'm an expert in 3D printing, never. I'm just someone that loves this hobby, that I'm learning as I go along. I'm learning from you, and I'm hoping you're picking up a little bit from me now. Sometimes I make mistakes because I'm human, and I learn from those mistakes and I move forward. If you like what you see today, please subscribe to the channel and help the channel grow. So we've got a Patreon. If you want to join the Patreon, you would be more than welcome. But above all, I hope you enjoy what you see today. Please like, share, and above all, comment. We'll come back in a month's time and we'll see how we got on with the Elegoo Saturn S. Now stay tuned.